Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Spray of Cards.
I have these magic cards right here
Oh, you, you,
from
you brought props this time.
they just sat on my desk because I'm an addict and my Friday night drafting
Ah,
just gives me enormous piles of gold that just live in my house and hold
oh,
up
those are
just
magic
buckets of
cards.
shoe boxes. Yes,
Okay, gotcha.
specifically Griffonaries, which not important. So let's dive into Spray of Cards from the new book that's still, as of November 8th, or not of November 8th, as of November 26th, fun fact, still has shipping delays in North America, which I think is hilarious because it was come out like a month ago. You can get it on D&D Beyond, though, and that's where this text comes from. So this is, in the new book, the Book of Many Things. It is a second level conjuration spell. It is cast from an action, range of 15 foot cone, or range of spell, 15 foot cone. Apologies. It is for Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. So 4 classes get this. You spray a 15-foot cone of spectral cards. Each creature in the area makes a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, creature takes 2d10 force damage and has the blinded condition until the end of its next turn. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage only. And then you can upcast it for a d10 damage per spell slot. Probably not do that. Look at this little thing. It's not that complicated. It isn't that, like, game breaking or groundbreaking, but like it's fine. It's a little blinding flourish.
Not sure
Yeah,
how I feel about the. Not sure how I feel about the flavor.
yeah,
So
I 100% agree with that.
what I do like though is that you can make your enemies suffer the indignity of getting their asses handed to them by a stage magician.
This just makes me want to play Joe Bluth the character. That's just what I want to do now. It's just a wizard
We-
that's Joe, and that's the whole shtick. He's just really bad at his job.
He's got these spells and firebolt.
Yeah, which is just lighter fluid, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, you actually take, like, I don't know, water spray or something to that effect, something that has to exist. This Okay, all right. Beyond Joe Bluth, beyond being a crappy stage magician, like let's. I think a lot of people may end up even reflavoring this. I know I'd reflavor this to be like a blash of brilliant light. I would do that pretty regularly. What kind of character wants this? Is it just every single Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard like into this? Are you gonna? Would you put this on a character sheet?
Ooh, I would think about it. So level two. I mean, this level two is getting a little bit high for a 15-foot cone of potential blindness. 15 feet. That's how many people are you talking about hitting there?
6.
Like if they're
Assuming it's
all in
perfectly
a
packed,
crowd.
it's
Yeah,
6.
right.
Most of the
No,
time,
I'm
I would
talking
expect to
about
hit
on
probably
average.
3 at most. Most of the
Yeah,
time, it's 2 things consistently, 3 things occasionally, 4 things rarely. Is where I tend to
that,
view the 15-foot cones, probably burning
that's
hands
not
and
too
stuff.
bad.
Yeah,
That's not too bad. And 2d10 damage, force damage for what that's worth. That's reasonable.
yeah.
That's I do like. I know a lot of people don't like these, but I do like these wide range of damage kind of spells, like 2d10. That could be 2, it could be 20.
Yeah. It's all going to be right around 11.
Yeah, but it could be 2 or it could
It
be 10, 20.
could, yes, its floor and ceiling are really, really spread. What I like about this thing is Burning Hands exists. It's kind of a known quantity, and what Burning Hands basically does is it helps you deal with large groups of very small things, like giant centipedes, right? Like if you want to
Mhm.
end a tier 1 encounter that's using 8 or more monsters, Burning Hands is basically the fireball of the environment. I think Spray of Cards does a similar enough job in the early tiers of being like this nice little AoE that does a good chunk of damage that deals with like 6, 7 hit point creatures, but it's not unusable in the mid tiers as far as just like,
No,
oh, I need a cheap action this turn. Great. Spray of Cards, blind, 2 things that have multi attack. And a little bit of damage is going to feel fine. And even if you're working with like 5th, 6th level spells, if you're like either conserving those or you're looking to have already spent them or you have a long concentration effect up that you're like, that's my big concentration slot is the 6th level summon spell or whatever, that little flexibility of having a 15-foot blind whenever something's on top of me or like a lot of things are on top of you, that's a kind of a way to get out of a dangerous situation while also doing damage, pushing them closer to losing the fight, while also helping your team in some interesting ways. I'm into it. Putting yourself in that position isn't going to be on every character sheet. Like I think you're going to probably want to be some kind of close to melee ranged character in the upper tiers if you want to keep this on your sheet. but I can see like a Swords Bard. I can see a Blades, maybe not Bladesinger. They're pretty packed with stuff, and probably not Warlocks either. But like I can see there being some close-ish combat Abjurer builds or whatever that can incorporate this pretty seamlessly as a thing you reach for every once in a while whenever things are already on top of you and the Brime's Binding Ice isn't going to do the trick anymore.
Well, it's also like if you're in the third or fourth round of combat, this has the potential to take things out. You don't know how many hit points things have, and if it doesn't, but it does blind them, great.
Blinding not only makes their attacks worse, it makes them easier to hit. So like it is setting up your team to knock them down easier too, which is genuinely pretty sweet. I'm very into that. It's not better than rooting them. Like I think Brime's Binding Ice is not only a better area, but is a way more damage and a better condition. So like Brime's Binding Ice is kind of busto.
Is that second level?
He sure is.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is really good. It's a 30-foot cone for 3d8 cold damage that can root things for a minute until they waste actions. Like it's that's really, really good.
If I gotta choose between the two, that's not much of a choice.
Yeah, but like it's also should be noted, like that's not a bard spell, it's only sorcerer wizards, so this goes on warlocks and bards as well. I love this on bards, especially for the Joe Bluth crap that we were talking about earlier of the stage magician shenanigans being like, haha. But I unironically think like there will be some tables that go, I don't want to play with Rime Binding Ice. This thing is way too good. I've seen DMs talk about banning it before. If you're at this kind of table, Spray of Cards is a really cheap and pretty fine alternative. It's not going to be nearly as powerful in a lot of circumstances, and there will be circumstances where this is better than a Rime's Binding Ice, namely when everything's already on top of you. But in either case, I like this. I think this hits a better job of being interesting, cute, extra thing to add in your toolbox that is not going to radically power up second level spells in the same way that Fizban's Treachery of Dragons did.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Man, how do you rate this? Like knowing that Rime's Binding Ice is right there.
I mean, it's kind of how we rate, like, think about damaging spells versus Fireball, right? Like, how do you live with the idea that the game changes fundamentally whenever this new thing's introduced? I think this thing does enough different that you still would be fine casting it. It's still not going to be something I'm reaching for on every character sheet, so this probably is a 3 for me. Like, I think the damage is enough for it to be something that you're happy using in the early tiers. The condition's enough that you're happy using in the mid to upper tiers, and that puts it in a space of, like, this is going to be good basically anytime it's on your sheet. Now, it's not going to be as good as a spell that warps the game, but it is going to be a spell that you're going to be happy to have, I think, a lot of the time.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll agree with your 3. All right, that was a Spray of Cards. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.